Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unscaled. My name is Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. And you know what? I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're listening. You took the time to, you made the commitment to listen. Or maybe this is on in like a nail salon. I don't know. Other way, any other way, it doesn't matter. You got an hour with me, and I'm so delighted that we're going to spend this time together. This show, we talk about travel. We talk about all the things associated with travel. And in this particular episode, we're going to talk about whether it's a myth or not that Vegas has gone through these family-friendly cycles where they try to attract families to Las Vegas, and that for some reason it hasn't worked out, and they've always kind of gone back to the, I know it's not the true marketing slogan anymore, the what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas kind of thing, but we're going to talk about it. Is it real or is it a myth? And then we're going to share some family friendly things that you can do at 3 a.m. with your kids. All those people that are pushing their kids in strollers at 3 a.m. on the Vegas Strip, where the show's for you. Joining me this week, we had so much fun last week that I had to bring her back. My beautiful, loving wife, Amy. What's going on, baby cakes?
I am thrilled to be here, back on your show. I honestly didn't think we'd do this again, but hey, our marriage survived, so I'm back to see if we can survive a second show.
There we go. The audience cheers. They clap. They love it. So, now we had a lot of fun. And so we're going to do it again this week. And, who better to discuss family with than, family. So like I said, in a few minutes, we are going to give you kind of our picks for some of the best family shows in Vegas. Some of the best just like overall experiences and, things of that nature that you can do with, from little ones up to teenagers, we think they would enjoy. And then, of course, we're going to finish it all off like we do every week with a little bit of Say What, our strange and funny news from the travel world. So let's get started. Amy, when we were kind of putting this show together, the first thought was like we actually had the talk about like the different cycles that Vegas has gone through that we thought were correct, of saying that there's a popular myth or a popular theory that Vegas has at times during its history tried to entertain families on different levels.
Right.
And they've marketed that way, and there are a few remnants, but it didn't work out for them financially. So they've always kind of gone back to the quote unquote Sin City vibe of everything. Right.
Right.
But as we dug deeper into this purported theory, we found out that it's a little more myth than it is factual. And I think it kind of surprised me more than anything, because I was under the impression that this is why they don't do it anymore. And the first thing that we talked about was the ship at Treasure Island.
Right. That
had gone through several different iterations. And that was, that's what we heard years ago. This is probably about the mid 90s when the Treasure Island, they used to have a giant boat out in front of Treasure Island. Those, people who lived here in Vegas, what we're talking about. If you're visiting or you're not well versed in it, they used to have this giant ship in front of Treasure Island. And every night, five?
I think it was 5 different shows a night. 5
different shows a night. They would, they had different iterations of the show. They had the first iteration was this, pirate theme or whatever. The second iteration was this one where the ship actually sank into the harbor. It was this big pirate battle and everything, but it was geared towards younger people. Mm-hmm. And then I think in the time that we were here, they actually shut it down.
Yeah.
Or was it right before we moved here about 10 years ago?
I think it was right when we did move here. I remember when we came to visit a few times, seeing the show, and remember it was so hot out there, but we stood and we watched it. It was something free to do, and it was entertaining. And then when we moved here, I think was right when it was shutting down, and it was a big deal. Everybody was talking about it, and it's like, and you and I talk about this, but it was kind of the end of this idea of having themed properties. Like they were, all these different companies were deciding to move more towards just a luxury experience as opposed to a themed experience. And I think that's what started this whole idea of Vegas is not for families anymore, which some people will say it never has been. But, you know, there was a campaign about 15 years ago trying to encourage families to come to Vegas. And that only lasted, 2 years maybe before they went back to Sin City. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I mean, both of those things can be correct, right? So the casinos did stop with the themes. There haven't really been any new themed casinos that have opened. And they all started doing the ultra luxurious, like the next hotel is going to be more luxurious than the last. Right. And we've seen some big time growth. But these older ones, I mean, Circus has been around since 1968.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah, it's, I mean, if you go inside of it, you can tell they haven't renovated it since then. If they have, it's wow. So, I mean, like Circus and things like that. So, and some of these numbers come from casino.org. This is where we find a lot of information. They keep their, fingers on the pulse of everything that have to do with the casinos here in Vegas. So it's reliable information. And they get it from the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Association, right? So from 1992 to 1996, right around this time when all of these things are being built. So we're talking about the Treasure Island ships, and we're talking the roller coaster at New York, M&M World, all these things that are designed, with families in mind, kids in mind, that they could specifically go to. So from 92 to 96, the percentage of families visiting Vegas rose from 7% to 12%. So that campaign, it looks like it did work. And that's according to, again, the LVCVA. Today, talking modern times right now, that number is over 20% of visiting people are families.
So that's a fifth, right? A fifth of visitors are are families coming here. People bringing children.
Mm-hmm. And if you go down to the Strip, you will see it.
Yes.
All hours of the day, all hours of the night. Now, parenting styles differ. You decide what's best for your child. But we've been out there late and with or without adult beverages in our hands and in our systems, and seeing people pushing baby strollers with multiple kids in there. May not all be theirs. And little kids and teenagers. And
yeah.
We're not debating that.
No.
We're just debating that myth that was ultimately when they're saying when they took away the ship, that's when the media kind of went, oh, that's the last family friendly, like free thing to do in Vegas, which free, maybe. I mean, because over the years, MGM got rid of the white tigers and and things. So a lot of those free, like the Mirage Volcano just shut down. And I don't know if that was necessarily a family thing. I mean, but the Bellagio fountains are still going, but and that's cool for kids to see, but I don't know where that kind of came from, but it is ultimately a myth that Vegas isn't for families because there are so many family oriented things to do.
Right. I mean, we see families here all the time. And since we lived here, we get asked, hey, what is there to do besides go to the casino? And sometimes people are looking for something, even just for the adults. But I mean, we have a family here. There's tons of stuff to do. There's many things to do on the Strip, but even if you're willing to venture off the Strip a little bit, it is a regular city. There is entertainment for everyone of all ages. So I think it is truly a media myth that Vegas is not for families.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And, and I think it's growing more and more. It's just that these things don't grab the headlines. The Fontainebleau casino may have some family stuff, but the thing that's grabbing the attention are of course, going to be the restaurants and shows and who's going to be where and everything else. But like we just read somewhere, the Bally's, which is now the Horseshoe or whatever, just transformed their old sports book into a 7,000-foot arcade.
Right.
And you've kind of Excalibur has had a huge arcade for years, right outside the Tournament of Kings show, which is also geared towards family. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But I think more so these things happen and it flies under the radar. I mean, Hershey World. I mean, is it for families? Maybe not, but it is kind of an attraction where it is in New York.
Yeah, I mean, I would say even the same thing. You know, you have Hershey World across the street, you have M&M World, and you have Coca-Cola World. They're not necessarily attractions, but you do see a lot of families in there kind of walking around, cooling off, buying things. Stuff that's not necessarily an activity, but it's still fun to do, especially with your kids, because if you've never seen a wall of Hershey's Kisses in every single variety, it is a little bit incredible to see for the first time.
It is. It wakes up that fluffy kid inside each of us. Every time I walk in there, it's, oh my God, it smells like chocolate, and it's just a fun, magical little shop. Same with M&Ms. I mean, they got a lot of the same setup at the candy things. You get M&Ms of all different colors. You get M&Ms with your name on it. Things that it's all kinds of fun stuff. So that's okay. We first wanted to dispel the myth that Vegas is not for families, because it absolutely is. Now it just depends. Now you can't bring your kids to the casino floor and they can't, place bets for you and stuff like that. Absolutely not there. And there are more and more places that are adults only, but that doesn't mean you have to leave the kids at home.
Right.
Especially if you go talk to people on the streets tonight, they will have their kids out there at 4 a.m. taking pictures with showgirls and Elmo and the weird Elmo guy. So when we come back, we're going to talk some of our favorite family-friendly shows for you, for your kids, and for the other kids you just happen to pick up along the way on this strip. There you go. Everyone's invited. This is Unscaled. Keep it right here. Welcome back to Unscaled. It's Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. For all of our interviews, for everything past episodes, and of course my blogs from my journeys around the world, visit us online at fullmetaltraveler.com. You can catch up with everything that we're doing currently. We're always adding new stuff, and we'd love to have you subscribe to the newsletter, do all of that fun stuff. And we want to thank you so much for joining up here. Follow along with we always put these shows on all the popular podcasting platforms. So that was a alliteration there. Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime Music, all of these, iHeart, whatever you prefer, we're usually on it. So get on there, subscribe. We appreciate it. And you listen and sharing the show. I'm with my beautiful wife, Amy. We're talking about family-friendly things here in Vegas. We just dispelled the myth that Vegas is not built for families. It absolutely is. There's a ton of things to do, both on and off the strip, and we're going to get right to it. Okay, so now, this segment, we want to talk about some of our favorite family-friendly shows. And there are so many shows, family-friendly shows here. We haven't even been to all of them yet.
Right.
I mean, and we've been here 10 years, and now our kids are older. So, we don't go to as many as we used to, but just a couple of months ago, we went to Tournament of Kings.
Yeah.
And so let's get right to it. One of the first ones that we went to that we really enjoyed, that's been around in Vegas for years and years and years now and has no sign of slowing down at all, is the Blue Man Group at the Luxor.
Yeah. I remember we went, I think, for Zeke's birthday, and I had never seen Blue Man. I had no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit apprehensive, like, are our kids going to like this? They were younger teenagers at the time. By the end of it, they both had huge smiles on their face. Everything was a mess. They seemed genuinely thrilled that they got to see this show. So I feel like that was a success. And if you've ever tried to make a 13-year-old boy smile, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. So the fact that he was smiling by the end of that night, I consider that a good family-friendly show.
Outside of video games and girls, there's not a whole lot of leeway there with 13-year-old boys. And to piggyback off your statement, it was a mess everywhere because that's part of the show.
Right.
If you've never been to the show, you probably were like, what do they mean? It's a mess everywhere. So Blue Man Group is this, they're eccentric. They paint themselves blue, obviously Blue Man Group. And it's almost like a musical variety show where they create music out of banging on pipes and things like that. So, and they use paint. They use, like washable paint, and like neon, like glow in the dark kind of paint and stuff like that, that if you sit close enough, you're going to get stuff on you. So they give you like tarps.
Yeah,
stuff,
they
right?
provide tarps.
Yeah.
There was something with a gun that shot out rolls of toilet paper. I think confetti that was being shot out at the crowd. So it's a spectacle.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to explain what exactly it is, but it's
a lot of fun.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That's a good way of putting it.
The other one we kind of did right off the bat and continue to do is like I just said, the Tournament of Kings at Excalibur. When we mentioned right outside the theater of Excalibur at the Tournament of Kings is a huge arcade. So if that's more your kids' style, a lot of kids do video games this year. I mean, these years, these days, that's what I'm trying to say. But Tournament of Kings is different because it's kind of this like, interactive Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur, good versus evil kind of thing. And they switch the show up. They switch the knights up, but genuinely, I mean, you go into this, I don't know, arena.
Yeah.
They ride real horses, and it's very cool.
And it's dinner and a show. So you're not just paying for a show. You're getting served while you sit there. Based on your section, you are in a country rooting for a certain knight. Yeah. They do encourage you to, yell out and be part of the show from your seat. They don't want you going down where the horses are, but it is, like you said, they switch out the show. So you could go 2 or 3 nights and probably see different shows. And I think there's even a special holiday edition that they do.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's fun. And, we went, our kids are adults now, and we just went a few months ago, and we all still had a blast.
We went for my birthday. Yes. Yes. So, and, for adults are like, oh, man, that, it is dinner and a show. There are adult beverages available. I got a bucket of adult beverages, and that was fun. It makes the show even more interactive and fun. If those things are not your speed, we're going to name off a couple of magic shows, but there are a literal ton of magic shows that are aimed more towards, kids and young adults and stuff. And there's also like in that same vein is like comedy shows. So one that probably a lot of people know from, I think America's Got Talent is Shin Lim. Right. Shin Lim, amazing magician. Our friend John, who has co-hosted on the show before, he just brought his daughter whenever he was out here. They went to Shin Lim. He thought it was amazing. They had a great time. His daughter's about 15, 16. So, she gave it the thumbs up, seal of approval. And then like Excalibur again, like Matt King, the comedy show. Matt King has been at Excalibur for years. Long time, yeah. He's been there for a number of years, and his shows almost always sell out. But he puts on a very, very good show. It's one of the highest rated shows out there. And then there's other ones. Yeah. I know there's one at the Miracle Mile.
There's a few different. I can't even keep up with all of them.
There's so many
now. But speaking of America's Got Talent, throughout the year, I don't think it's every single night of the year, but it is running right now. But America's Got Talent does show at the Luxor. Yeah. It says Wednesday through Sunday right now. So you could go see a live America's Got Talent Superstars. There's also the Jabberwockies, the dance show, Illuminate at Strat, which is a dance comedy show. a lot of these that you may not have heard of because they're not the big productions, but there are so many shows, it's hard to even keep up with all of them right now.
Yeah. I mean, then like if you don't have little kids or you have kids that are like into dance and things, I mean, there are shows like Michael Jackson 1 and these kind of shows that are just like, I mean, they put a lot of time and effort and energy into the choreography, and you know there are certain Cirque du Soleil shows that families can go watch together that I think I feel comfortable recommending. Now again, it's all based on how you raise your kids, and we're not debating that, you know. So there's always going to be questionable humor. In fact, we went to Mad Apple just a couple of weeks ago, which was a very fun show.
However, it is not a family show. It says that on the website. There's a sign when you walk in.
It's not aimed at families, but still, I mean, they pointed it out front row. And during our show, the time we were there, there was an 11-year-old boy with his parents, and they seem to have a good time, but it is not aimed at that, you know, some suggestive language and situations and things like that. So, not suggestive language. There was some language.
There was some language. It was a fantastic show. We had a great time.
It was a great time.
I would not have taken my 11-year-old child.
You know, and that's a parenting choice. That's up to you. And it, you know, the maturity of the kid and all these other things. But like, I think Mystere, Ka, which is more the animal based one. Is
Ka is the one. I think it's fire at MGM.
Yeah. That's right.
O is the one with water. Then you also have the Beatles' Love and is it Michael Jackson 1?
Mm-hmm.
So there are
technically,
there are a lot of Cirque shows that I think are more family friendly, but a few do come with a disclaimer that they suggest you not bring children. I would look at their website before you buy tickets. I would do that,
or you're just going to be surprised, and you just have to explain afterwards. Explain some stuff, maybe about the human anatomy. And then there's like off strip. Strip, of course, Vegas, you know, a lot of people, when you come in, you just like to stay on the strip. But if you can get off strip, we do have Broadway shows that come through, ballet, just like any other, you know, bigger city or something like that, at the Smith Center.
We love the Smith Center. We have season tickets to the Broadway shows, and our daughter has loved going with us to see the various Disney musicals and other shows. And we've gone to a ballet. We've gone to a few concerts there. If you're in town, I would definitely look and see what's playing at the Smith Center while you're there. Yeah,
absolutely. So there you go. We kind of ran through it, and there's so many more. I mean, we could just do a whole show just on shows. Yeah. You know, just on the strip. There's so many. We're not trying to leave any out. And of course, we have different musicians and musical acts that come through that are also, you know, more. I mean, BTS and Taylor Swift just sold out Allegiant, you know, a couple of months ago, and you know she's on her world tour and stuff. So there's always stuff going on for families, for kids, younger kids, or even those older kids that are young at heart. As long as your heart can physically take the excitement, we invite you to come do these things. That's a dark place. Okay. So we did family-friendly shows. When we come back, we're going to talk about some family-friendly experiences. Off the strip, on the strip, water parks, all kinds of different stuff, right? There's a whole family atmosphere, family theme to this episode. Stick around. We'll have more. This is Unscaled. Welcome back to Unscaled. It's Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. I want to invite you all to visit the website whenever you get a chance, fullmetaltraveler.com. You'll find blogs from my travels. You'll find past episodes of Unscaled. You'll find interviews. And, all we want to do is help elevate your travels. That's our new theme here. We want to elevate your travels. What does that mean? I know most people maybe hear that and they go, hey, it's luxury travel. So no. An elevated travel experience could be anything under the sun that brings you up from that normal, you got that general admission ticket, but maybe you spend $5 more for the good seats, the slightly better seats at a baseball game, or, you pay just a couple bucks more for the junior executive suite in the hotel or something like that. Or it could be the difference between the Holiday Inn and the DoubleTree. You know what I'm saying? That's elevating your travel experiences. We want to give you the very, very best out of everywhere we go. We're going to write about it. We're going to talk about it. That's what the show is. That's what the website's about. So tell your friends, tell your mom and them. Also tell them I said hi. I miss them. I don't see their faces anymore. So in this episode of Unscaled, we're talking about the best family-friendly experiences and places and shows in Vegas, because the myth was that Vegas is not built for families, that it's all Sin City, that it's all what happens here stays here, which is true to a certain degree. I mean, we wouldn't send your family to the Bunny Ranch unless your family is so much different than the one I grew up in. And I don't know if I really want to meet your family. I don't know where I was going with that. There's no way to get out of it. I mentioned the Bunny Ranch on me.
All right.
So just Google that on a private setting when you're not around your kids talking about this episode, the Bunny Ranch. And then clear your browser history. I mean, you may want to uninstall and then reinstall your browser. I'm just talking, just wipe it clean. Where am I going with this? Family-friendly experience.
Not the Bunny Ranch. Let's just be clear.
I tried to get away from it, and you just mentioned it again. Okay, so we're talking, we're talking shows. Now we're talking experiences. Okay, so experiences are things like where we were just a couple of weeks ago, and an episode you can find. I think the June 24th episode of Unscaled. We have an interview with the folks at Speed Vegas. Speed Vegas is an exotic race car track that is just south of the Strip. And you'll see it if you're driving in from California, or if you're heading out to California on 15, Highway 15, you can see it. It's off to the left of the highway if you're going to California. But there you can rent an exotic car, say a Lamborghini of your choice. And they have a racetrack, and you can drive that Lamborghini as fast as you want on that racetrack with an experienced driver beside you, so you don't flip the dang car or anything like that. Or, like they did for us, they can take you around the racetrack in a Dodge Hellcat and just, peel out everywhere and show you the time of your life. And we had a darn good time doing it. So that's one of the experiences that we're talking about, but the whole family can do it. Now, obviously, kids can't drive the vehicles. You got to have a license and all of that stuff, but they can be around, and the whole family can experience it.
Right.
And they often do. We talked to the people there, and they were like, "Hey, man, we get tons of families, or for Dad's birthday, or Uncle Jim's. He just got out of prison, so we're gonna take him to, drive cars around the track."
I just got that.
Yeah, anything like that. So, like, Speed Vegas is one of those stops I would highly, highly recommend.
Along those lines, if you want to get off the Strip, we have mini Grand Prix racing. Mm-hmm. We have go-kart racing.
Oh, they also have that at Speed Vegas.
So, there's multiple places around the city where you can go do those types of things. And most of those facilities also have mini arcades. Some also may have mini golf, things like that. So, lots of options if, driving fast is something you and your family likes to do.
Hey, like Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first, you're last. That's what we're doing here. And speaking of sports, Vegas, over the last, 6 years since the Golden Knights were created, we just became world champs in hockey. Boom, baby. And, WNBA aces. Boom, Las Vegas aces, champions, back-to-back, baby. This is a sports town. So if your family loves sports, this is the place you want to be, because we're on the come up, and we're hearing day by day on updates for baseball.
Yeah.
No matter however you feel about the team, soon professional baseball will be here. It's already in the works for professional basketball to be here. We got the NFL. We got the NHL. Major League Soccer missed the boat on. They could have been the first team through the gate years ago. Now they're trying to play catch up. But this is a sports town. We have the Las Vegas Desert Dogs, which are, it's a professional lacrosse team.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a semi-professional soccer team right now in the Las Vegas Lights. So there's so much going on as far as sports. I mean, Top Golf things,
Right.
just all kinds of stuff.
Well, if we're going to talk about that, we did just talk about Speed Vegas, but we also have the Speedway
the Las Vegas Motor Speedway,
NASCAR, and what have we been talking about that's coming in a couple of months? Formula One.
Absolutely.
So Vegas is definitely moving into being a sports-centric city, and there are a couple of times a year that if you come here, you could go see a different sport every single night.
Yeah.
Of your stay.
And I forget the exact day of it, and we will have to get, when it gets closer to that. But there's a specific day in the fall where there is a NASCAR race, a football game,
a
hockey game, and something else all on the same night.
I think a fight, UFC or something. Yeah,
and that's not even counting UFC. If you're white and violent, or just like, Irish or something like that, then, you just always come here, and you can, UFC is always here. And,
right.
For fight fans or families who like to watch violence. Yeah. So, which I do, which our family is one of these. So that's what we do. But there's also, so more like low key things. So at Mandalay Bay, the Shark Reef Aquarium.
Right.
And it's beautiful. And, no matter how you feel about, animals in captivity, we're not here to argue that. We're here just to talk about that experience in itself. And it is, it's one of the biggest tanks in North America. It is absolutely huge, the main tank that they have. And they do actually have some real life sharks.
Right. And then also Silverton Casino has the huge aquarium, and they have the mermaids that go in and swim around with the various stingrays and fish a couple of times a day. It's not really a show. The huge tank is in the middle of the lobby. But yeah, I mean, when we went down there, what was it? A couple of months ago, we stood there for probably an hour just watching these fish and these mermaids, and along with 100 other people
and their kids.
The
kids, it's so cute. The kids go up to the glass, and the mermaid, who is dressed like a mermaid, she does have a air tube thing down to her and everything, so that she can breathe, in case you thought mermaids are real. But she does, they do, and they have different ones that come in and out. They do flips in the water, and they, get the sand in the bottom, make little hearts in the water for the kids and blow kisses into them. And so it's like a mini show for kids. So like younger kids would really, really enjoy it. In fact, they press their faces up in there and they're just like, oh my gosh, So if you, have any kids that love The Little Mermaid or something, this is pretty darn close. And Dad, or Ma, if you like fishing and hunting, right next door is a Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, huge Bass Pro Shop.
So, leave your kid unattended, go walk into the Bass Pro Shop and
don't do that. Please don't do that.
Oh yeah, don't do that, but there's some different things you can do. Along that line, I mean, for the outdoors family, Lake Mead.
Right.
Hey, it actually kind of filled up a little bit with water. So it's not quite the bad situation it was. I mean, it's still really bad, but you can still go out there. You can do all kinds of stuff on the water in Lake Mead. Yeah. And even just seeing Hoover Dam, there's no admission to Hoover Dam itself. You do, I think it's like $10 to park. There are guided tours that you can pay for, things like that, but you can just go out to Hoover Dam for free.
Yeah.
And check out the bridge. You can check out, the dam itself, walk across it. It is a modern marvel.
Yeah. Take the picture straddling the state line of Arizona and Nevada.
Yeah. You know all those dumb pictures you make people look at all the time, and then you post it on your Facebook and stuff. That's one of them. Like, look at me. I'm in 2 states at one time. But it's fun to do. Kids like it. Yeah. So,
I mean, at Lake Mead, you can rent all types of watercraft, swim.
Yeah.
It's a lake. It's fun things to do. And then speaking of, water activities, Las Vegas also has 2 water parks, one on the west side, one on the east side. They're not huge water parks. It's not, if you're used to the giant ones back in Texas, it's going to be a little bit underwhelming. But when it's 115 degrees out here, you're going to be thankful that we have 2 water parks along with the multitude of swimming pools along the strip at whatever property you're staying at.
Yeah. And a few weeks ago, Mike Price and myself, we went over the best pools in Las Vegas. So you can find that episode. It was just a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about the best pools in Vegas. So if you don't want to do any of that other stuff and you just want to know where can I post up for 4 days with my kids, they can get in the water, I can have a Mai Tai and just relax. We also went over the best pools in Las Vegas as well. So you'll find that at fullmetaltraveler.com. So we talked about the best experiences for family, the best shows. We hope you learned something. Okay. When we come back, we're going to wrap it all up with something news, some kind of news in travel in a little segment that we call Say What. Keep it right here. This is Unscaled. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Unscaled. It's Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. For all of our past interviews, for all of our past episodes of this show, go to fullmetaltraveler.com. We always will learn you something about Vegas, about the world, maybe about yourself, something you never knew, or some repressed memories. Earlier in the show, we talked about the best family shows in Vegas. We tried to dispel the myth that Vegas is not built for families, because it's absolutely a lie, man. We have so much stuff for families to do out here in Vegas. So we hope we, taught you something. Some of the best family shows, some of the best family experiences, and all the fun that you can really have with kids from 2 to 92. Isn't that what they say? And, we talked about all the shows and experiences. And that actually brought up a good point in my mind. We didn't even really get to the holiday stuff.
Oh no.
All the holiday displays, from the Bellagio Conservatory to things like glittering lights and all the different, just everywhere, Caesar's Palace and how they decorate everything. And the holidays are just a magical time in Vegas.
Right. There's so many different light displays that go up every year.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a new one every year. That we feel like, okay, we need to go see this, but the other ones change every year too, so you want to go back and see those, and you end up saying, I'm a grown-ass adult and I've gone to see 4 different Christmas light displays this year.
And then it's July, and then, speaking of, the 4th of July just passed a couple of weeks ago. They do a huge fireworks show, New Year's huge fireworks show. They shut down the strip. Families can go out there. Now, keep an eye on your loved ones. There are a lot of people that go down there. And then there's other things, free things like the Fremont Street Experience and the LED show on the screen at the top.
Right.
And they do a new one every single night. I think almost every single hour. That's something new that they cycle in anyway. And it's set to music and lights and all this other stuff. And there's all kinds of free concerts down there. See, there's so much stuff.
Right.
And depending on the band, a couple of weeks ago, I think earlier in the summer or maybe in the spring, they had bands that went back to our childhood and teenage years and made us feel old.
Yeah.
But they were family-friendly shows. There were families down there just having a good time, bopping along to the music and everything. Right. Now, Fremont Street it's questionable sometimes.
Yeah.
Although they have, in the past couple of years, really cleaned up downtown. Mm-hmm. They have done a marvelous job. Our city officials, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get to museums.
We didn't get to museums, zip lining
things.
So many things.
There are so many things to do. And it sounds like I wish the Vegas Chamber of Commerce would sponsor the show. It sounds like we work for them, man.
Right.
But we don't. And this is just letting people know this is a really wonderful city. And it's no wonder that people are moving here.
Right.
So many every single day, because Vegas is a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family. And okay, we're gonna stop pushing that narrative. There you go. Make up for your own mind what you think about Vegas. But this is where we talk a little bit of silly news before we end the show. I have some weird things that are happening and going around right now, and it's a segment that we call Say What.
Say what?
All right. So the first story, I don't know if you saw this in the notes. The first story is related to travel because it's more and more happening in Eastern Europe. This is where this news is coming from. But people do like to backpack around Eastern Europe. They do like to go through the mountains of different Eastern European countries and things like that. And it is something that I knew would probably turn your stomach a little bit when you first read it. You know what? I'll let you take it because I know the anxiety is building for you.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the title of this article and New anxiety unlocked. Ticks can fly. I don't know if you know what ticks are, but they are little blood-sucking creatures. Mm-hmm. And as far as we always knew, they could not jump. Mm-hmm. They had to attach themselves to you in some way. So this article from National Geographic goes into how ticks are sedentary creatures, and they usually climb on a blade of grass and wait for a host animal.
Like a deer or a rabbit, dog, or a human.
Something to pass right by them, and then they latch on. But they have discovered with static electricity, some ticks have the ability to boost themselves, simulating flying so that they can attach onto a host that is farther away.
That is, oh my gosh.
If you don't know what the problem with ticks are, is not only are they little blood-sucking creatures, but they are significant carriers for Lyme disease.
Right.
This is not something you want to play around with. So if you are backpacking, just you need to make sure you have on long pants and tall socks. I mean, that's what our parents always said when we were younger and we'd go play out in East Texas where, there are some ticks.
Have you ever been searched for ticks?
Yes. We used to go camping, and at the end of every night, we would take a bath and then get searched for ticks.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't grow up in a rural area or you didn't spend a whole lot of time camping or anything, maybe it sounds unfamiliar to you, but very real thing. And yes, the disease they do carry. And this is why it's getting news, because this is species of tick in Eastern Europe or whatever. They do carry a lot of Lyme disease or whatever. So, but that they can float on static electricity to get where they're trying to go on their host is just, and it's crazy if you read it. And this is a National Geographic, okay? But the scientist who's talking or quoting that they're quoting says, usually with a scientific, a thing, they have to wait for months and whatever to get, to find out the actual result of this or whatever. And this guy was like, dude, the first time we tried it, these things were like hopping everywhere through static electricity. Mm-hmm. That terrifies me. Like, they didn't have to do a 8-year study on the ticks. It was like half an hour, and they were like, oh yeah, this is ticks can fly. Well, it's just the evolution of some of these animals, the spiders that hunt and can fish. Have you seen the one that fishes?
No,
it throws the thing in the water, and
I don't need to know.
It can fish, and
this is where I want ignorant bliss.
Yeah, they got spiders that can catch birds out of midair now, and
I'm good.
Oh boy, I'm telling you.
I do enjoy travel, but there are some places I don't want to travel to because the thought of these creatures is just it's too much for me. I'm good.
Really?
I'm good. I don't need to go to any place where they have spiders the size of dinner plates. I'm good.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So I don't know what else to say. I'm so
In other news,
I'm reading more of that, so I'm just like, oh my god. Okay, so moving on. Different kind of parasite. Cruise travelers. Different kind of parasite. The world's largest cruise ship is set to sail. It is already being labeled a monstrosity, and it is called the Icon of the Sea, and I think it's by Royal Caribbean International. Now listen to the stats on this thing. Okay, it is. Oh, where'd my thing go? It has 7 pools, 6 water slides, 20 decks. It has room for 7,600 passengers, over 2,300. 5,600 crew members. And 2,300 passengers, 7,600 total people on one ship. It is 5 times larger than the Titanic. It is almost 1,200 feet long. This thing is ginormous.
You may have missed this one stat, but it says it is 19 stories tall.
Oh, yeah.
19.
Yeah.
This, I don't understand how it floats. I mean, that's a engineering genius, whoever made
that is crazy. That is, it can do it. Okay, because I don't know the exact science on how they, measure the volume of what ships displace. And that's what it is. It's displacement, and they measure it in gigatons because that's where we're at now in history. The Titanic displaced over 46,000 gigatons of water, of volumes of water. Okay. This new ship, 250,000. It's 5 times bigger than the Titanic ever was. And then, of course, a couple of weeks ago with that whole mess with the whole, Titanic and the ship and all tragedy, really.
Right.
It's set to launch in January. Critics, of course, are like you. I'm kind of like you. You know what's fascinating, though? I'll tell you this real quick before we go. There is a documentary called what is it? Secret Life of Cruise Ships or something like that?
Yeah.
And it's on Netflix.
I think so. I think
Netflix or Amazon Prime, one of those. And it gives you a really good look at the life on a cruise ship and the technology used to keep cruise ships. There are many floating cities.
Right.
And this one, it's not many. This is a city in itself. I know towns in Texas that aren't this big.
Right. I mean, that documentary was extremely interesting to see what it takes to keep a cruise ship going.
Yeah.
I look at this and I'm like, it's not just a cruise ship. This is, as you said, an entire city with an amusement park built on top of it.
Yeah.
It's fascinating that it's so big, but at the same time, I just don't think I'd want to be on this because going back to family-friendly travel, this is a very family-friendly ship, and as our kids are getting older, I'm wanting to do a few more adult-only things. Yeah. So looking at this, knowing that there's room for over 7,000 passengers, and probably half of those are going to be children.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So it has a huge ice arena. It has VIP restaurants and private eating areas that hang you over the water, basically. There's a 2-level Royal Loft suite that for some reason has a baby grand piano in it, because haven't you ever just wanted to break out in song whenever you were on a Royal Caribbean cruise line? Maybe some people have, I don't know. And then there's like a whole neighborhood designed for young families called Surfside, where they can play the day away and do things like that. Plus the other things like casinos and grand ballrooms and all of that. So you make up your own mind. Google it anywhere. It's called Icon of the Sea. Make it make up your own mind about that thing. But we'd love to hear about it. Visit us at fullmetaltraveler.com. Tell us what you think about the world's largest cruise ship. Would you be up for it? Would you not? We've done a couple of cruises. We might do a couple more, but I don't know if this thing is
I'd have to think hard about it.
Think hard about all of that. So, like I said, for all of our interviews, all of our past episodes, visit us at fullmetaltraveler.com. We appreciate you listening to the show, sharing the show, and just being involved in everything. We want to hear about your travels, especially your elevated travel experiences. That's what we do here. All right, for my wife, Amy, I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. We will see you next week right here on Unscaled.